Friday the 16th. This is going to be probably the 4th little bundle video of Vlogmas this year. We're rattling through them, aren't we? Okay, so where am I at? Well, Christmas jumper is ready for the ribbing, which is great. It's going to sit high hip, which is good. I was having a think last bundle of videos when I tried it on. I was talking about how I didn't think the shape of the original would work on my body shape, and I've been thinking about that, and I think it's worth testing the theory. My theory is that the ribbing at the bottom will want to ride up to my narrowest point, which is my waist, and I'm short-waisted, so that's fairly high up on my body. I think it could at certain levels of ease. I think it could ride up to that point, but I think it's worth testing the theory. So I am very, very tempted to knit the sweater again, but without the colourwork. So just do it as a stocking stitch sweater, and either go up a needle size to see if I can get closer to gauge, or go up another size, or maybe both, to knit it with the shaping that is in the original pattern. And the shaping largely comes from this decrease round after the colourwork that I'm going to omit on this version because of how it's fitting me. It doesn't make sense to decrease when it's a practically zero ease garment. It would need positive ease to make that make sense. So yes, I'm thinking about doing a larger size or a closer match to the gauge, just stocking stitch, doing that decrease round and actually seeing if it rides up or not. Because at that point, because it's a top-down sweater, I can just rip out the ribbing and re-knit it if it does ride up. So yeah, I think it's worth a try. So that might be a project for next year. Maybe. We'll see. I haven't scheduled out what I'm going to work on or written out a list of things I'd like to work on next year yet. My bullet journal is sitting on my trolley next to the chair, waiting to be set up. I will get it done before January 1st, but I've got until then to get it all sorted, so it's fine. So yeah, so that may well go on the list. We'll see. So yes, I'll get the ribbing knit up later on today, and then hopefully get sleeves done over the weekend, which gives me a chance to block it, which would be good. But first, let's see what's in my advent. So here's day 16. And we have more Hotel Chocolat. We have pistachio penguins. I may have to share these with my partner because there's individual ones and they're all the same. So we'll see. So yeah, the milk chocolate with pistachio flavoured filling and rather cute. So yeah, that's good. So plans for today, obviously do the next bit of the sweater. I also need to finish up this weekend's video, so the loom will be coming out shortly, get that weaving finished and off the loom. So it's a weave with me this weekend. What else do I need to get done? I need to make beef stew in the slow cooker. I need to make sure that's on by lunchtime because it's a 6-hour cook. What else is pressing? Already sorted out my Morrison's order, but I'm going to double check it over the weekend before that, because that's not due to come till the 20th, so it gets paid on the 19th. So yeah, I'll finish that up because they didn't have a couple of bits when I was putting it together, and I want to see if they've come into stock. I mean, things like red cabbage and swede. It's not like I can't pop into town and pick them up if they've not got them. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the job for over the weekend. I've got hand knit socks drying. They won't be dry yet. So yeah, those are my pressing things. So yeah, I'll be watching a few Vlogmases after I've finished up my video. Might watch some more of C, which I've been watching on Apple TV because I've managed to get myself a free 3 months on Apple TV, so that's nice. Enjoying C. I'm still obviously on the first season. I started a couple of days ago. I'm watching a couple of episodes at a time. But yeah, enjoying that. It's an interesting premise. I was having a think about the casting because obviously most of the cast, if not all of the cast, are sighted, but most of them are playing blind characters with big epic fight scene type things happening and climbing up rock faces and stuff. So I was thinking, would they have been able to do that with blind actors? I mean, physically, technically, yes, they could. But I was wondering if the insurers would have had an issue with it. It certainly would be a little more straightforward to choreograph the fight sequences with sighted actors and the horse riding and that kind of thing. But I do wonder if there was an insurance reason as to why they didn't bring in more blind actors. Not that the performances aren't good, they really are, and it's a very interesting premise. And there are certainly some things that I can see would be a little more complicated to do with blind actors. But yeah, I'm enjoying it anyway. Good storyline's good. Good concept. Performances are good. Script's good. So yeah, enjoying that one. Right, I shall get back to you a bit later on, or tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I might put in some snippets of behind the scenes finishing up this video. I might not. If I get the ribbing done on the sweater, I will show you how it's looking, because then it's just the sleeves left to do and you have a pretty good sense of what the finished garment's going to look like once the ribbing is done. But it is 2 inches of ribbing, so it might take me a little bit of time. It might be tomorrow before I finish that, which is fine. Sleeve shouldn't be too complicated. I don't really have a sleeve island issue. Yep, more enough of me wittering. Let's get cracking with Friday. Good morning. It's the 17th of December today, so that's Saturday. And I've just heard the weather report on BBC use the phrase less cold instead of warming up. The weather for the next week is supposed to be 5 to 10 degrees higher than it was last week, so that'd be nice. Might use a little bit less gas to heat the house to the temperature that we want it. So we've got one of these modern new boiler thingies that you set the flow rate and it can be programmed to have different temperatures at different times of the day, and it only comes on when the thermostat works properly, effectively, is what I'm saying. The old central heating system, the thermostat didn't work at all, like at all. So we had no heating. And then with the old system, the shower would randomly turn off, as in the water would stop running after a few minutes of shower. So certainly before I had time to finish washing my hair. The new system, the water in the shower is warmer and it lasts long enough to wash my hair. Probably longer, but we don't do massively long showers in this house. I just have enough hair that it takes me a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, not hugely long. But yeah, now our central heating actually works. You can adjust the flow rate on it, so the people who set it in have put it on the economy setting, and yeah, it was nice. You can move the thermostat around the house, which is nice. So we have it in the living room pretty much all the time because that's the room we use the most. I mean, yeah, the bedroom gets a fair bit of use as well because we have, if I'm watching the TV or doing stuff downstairs, the other half will go up to the bedroom and do stuff up there. We've got a spare TV up there. He'll take the Xbox up and he'll game up there so that I can watch stuff. He lounges anyway, so actually he sits the same on a bed as he does on a sofa. The craft room does get very cold, so I haven't been using that much during the winter, but we do have a little halogen camping heater in the ones with the bars on, halogen bulbs, from his dad that they used to have in their static van. So when I do go in the craft room, pop that on for maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, just enough to take the chill off the room and switch it off again. So we have a nice little system, but yeah, the living room is the room we try and keep at a comfortable temperature. It would be nice if we could do that with the bedroom as well, but heat rises, so the thinking is if the living room is at a reasonable temperature, then the bedroom shouldn't be too bad. It obviously is a bit colder up there than it is here because the temperature's not assessed on that, but I mean, yeah, duvets and stuff are up there. So yeah, it's working quite nicely. Whilst we're spending a lot on gas compared to what we normally would, certainly before the price rises, you expect to spend more on gas in the winter compared to the summer. So it's, yeah, but with gas central heating, gas heats the water, electricity does everything else. So we obviously use more electric than we use gas. Although this at the moment that is a little bit turned around, we do seem to be using more gas, or more, well, in financial terms we're using more gas, but then we do get 60 odd quid from the government on, which is riveting for people outside of the UK. Basically, UK government said for 6 months they're going to put 66 quid on everybody's fuel bill. We have a smart meter, so it goes directly onto our smart meter rather than on the bill that comes out at the end of the month, what have you. And that covers the majority of our electric. And we're probably topping up 20 to 30 quid on top of that in a month on the electric. And then the rest of our energy spend is going on the gas. So at the moment the gas spend is certainly up there with the total amount of pounds worth of electric that's getting used. Whereas obviously in the summer we've virtually spent nothing on gas because we only need it for water. But I mean, that's the same every year, that's nothing to do with the prices. The smart meter is definitely a godsend when you're trying to worry about prices or what have you, because you can see how much you're using each day and you can go, okay, so on average we're spending £5 on fuel, so we need to make sure we've got £5 a day on for whatever. So it's nice and handy. It does keep telling me that I've exceeded my daily budget, or exceeded my weekly budget or something, and I've never actually set a budget on it, so apparently you can set a budget on a smart meter. I just don't know how to do it. But yeah, anyway, moving away from the boring stuff of bills. It's because it's early. My brain's just going blah, blah, as I sort of organise myself for the day. Yeah, it's about 7:20. So I've got Xbox controller here that I won't be using until about 8 o'clock. Because the cat has a habit of coming and sitting on me, so I get everything out before I sit down to have my coffee in the morning, ready for when he decides to come and sit on my lap. So that's there ready. I've got my coffee, I've got my Advent. So let's get the Advent open. So here we are, the 17th. You've focused, yes, you've focused. That's the trouble actually, when I poke my head out to see if it's focused, it then defocuses everything. So I just have to guess. Okay, so, rustly. This one feels squishy as well. Okay. Black superwash. It's Katia. Just says 100% new, and it just says superwash. It doesn't say what fiber's in it. Oh, it does on the other side. Okay, 75 wool, 25 polyamide, so that's essentially nylon. It's a 25 gram little sock skein. So yeah, that's going to be contrast colours. Either contrast colours for colour work. So I might store that away for like Sock Madness maybe. Leo. He's trying to climb on the clothes horse. Bear with me a moment. He's got himself stuck. Silly cat. We've got clothes horse set up with my hand knit socks and a sweater of my partner's on it. Ready to be cleared because it's dry now, so we can put the next load of laundry on to dry. He decides every once in a while that he wants to try and, I'm not sure whether he's trying to climb up onto it or pull the sweater down, but he gets his claws stuck in the sweater and he just sits there like this. So let's go and rescue him. So yeah, so this black Katia yarn, it'll be heels, toes and cuffs or a contrast colour, so it might go into the Sock Madness stash for next year. Unless I do some socks in the meantime that need a black contrast colour. You might be bobbling around a little bit, that's because the cat is around the tripod. Okay, so that's good, that's going to sit in stash. So plans for the day, I am about halfway through, just over halfway through the ribbing on the bottom of that Christmas sweater. So we'll get that done today and get the sleeves on the needles. Need to give the cake its last feed, ready for marzipaning in a couple of days. I might do some Dragon Age later. I'm also going to do some Gems of War when it gets to 8 o'clock. Just after 8, this weekend's video launches. Yeah, I might do some Dragon Age. I haven't started playing that again yet, but we have worked out that we can connect the Xbox controllers to the laptop with a USB cable, so we don't have to buy a new controller at the moment. We probably will at some point down the road, but at the moment we don't need to. So that's good. So yes, I might play that. I've also got Lego Star Wars on the laptop ready to be played as well. I thought I'd just start with a couple of games on there because I don't want to fill up the laptop with games. So we'll play through those and then swap them for something else. There are some games I can play in the cloud as well. But I really need to start playing some of those before my Game Pass runs out. Because if I'm not going to be using it very much, there's no point in paying for a Game Pass for my other half of the Xbox and a Game Pass for me for the laptop. There's just no point. And we will, if we're playing with the cloud, we will need both of us to have the Game Pass membership, because although you can play stuff that's on the console with each other's Game Pass, you can't do that with stuff in the cloud. You have to have it attached to you personally. And there's no point me paying out for a second Game Pass unless I'm actually going to be using it. And he uses the Xbox more, so having the Game Pass on the Xbox being his one makes sense. So yeah, so that's plans for the day. Bit of gaming, bit of knitting, bit of feeding the cake. Something simple for dinner tonight, probably something out of the oven because we've got leftover stew in the slow cooker. The crock pot bit is out and in the fridge, it's not still sitting in the slow cooker. So yeah, there will be other boring stuff getting done like housework and things, but you don't need to know about my cleaning schedule. But, yeah, Saturday, this time next week will be Christmas Eve. Ooh, it's getting close. Might even wrap some presents. Not got many to wrap, but I might even wrap some presents. Need to watch the Muppets Christmas Carol at some point as well. I need to catch up on Vlogmases. I'm pretty up to date on vlogs, I'm not doing too bad. So yes, we'll do some Vlogmases. Maybe some Christmas films. So I'm on to season 2 of C now. That's the current binge watch. I've got 3 months for my Apple Pass, Apple TV before that runs out, so that'll be February that runs out. So I'll be watching a few things on that before I have to decide whether I want to pay for it or not. I do like a free trial. Anywho, that's 12 minutes of footage so far. I will obviously cut out or speed up the bit when I went and rescued the cat from the demon closed doors. And I'll see you a bit later on, let you know how I'm getting on with the gaming or the knitting or whatever. But now I need to drink my coffee. Okay, so it's the 18th of December, it's Sunday. So I've managed to get about half a sleeve on my Christmas sweater. Today is going to be mostly getting all that done. I didn't get much filmed yesterday. I printed off some patterns for sewing that I may or may not get as far as sticking together or starting to stick together today. There's a few of them, so I'm probably not going to get it all done in one go. But I do also need to get these sleeves knitted so that I can block my sweater. And I went on to International Virtual Knit Nights last night. So I was knitting my sleeve on there. But, yeah, so today's going to be mostly knitting and possibly a bit of taping patterns together. But the priority is getting the sweater knit. I do need to feed the cake because I didn't do that yesterday. So we'll do that shortly. Fingers crossed. My ingredients for dinner defrost in enough time for me to put them in the slow cooker. Took them out last night. I normally defrost stuff in the fridge, partly because I can leave it there for a longer period of time and it'll defrost slowly and the cat can't get to it. But yeah, it's still solid. So it's now sitting on the side. It's not hot enough for that to be a problem, so that's fine. So, yeah. I don't need to get everything in the slow cooker until after lunch because of the time it takes to cook, so that'll be fine. But yeah, let's do Advents. Not Advent is the 18th. So it's got some sort of box in here. Sort of packaging. So let's rustle the paper. Okay, it's a little Christmas tree decoration kit. So that's sweet. Okay, so I have a project. See when I get to that. And I'm going to drink my coffee and get some knitting done. So exciting plans, but hey, it's Sunday. I am still intending on going into the National Trust property at some point and see if I can find the deer. That probably won't be today. It probably won't be Monday or Tuesday either because I've got deliveries coming. And Wednesday I've got an appointment in town, which is the other direction. So probably not before Wednesday. Maybe Thursday or Friday. I might end up doing it after Christmas, to be fair. There will be a video between Christmas and New Year. It'll be like a roundup of the year, like what I've been working on in December video. But, there's no reason why I can't put something up with deer as well. I know how to do shorts now. I started off December with like a few shorts. Did like 3 days on the bout. Takes a surprisingly long time to actually work out what you want to do for a short. But, yeah, so I do need to start integrating shorts a bit more into my schedule. Need to generate some ideas first. But anywho, that's not getting my coffee drunk. It's not getting my knitting done, so I'll pop back on in a bit. Okay, so done a bit of knitting. I've still got loads more to do, but it's middle of the morning and we've got no bread in for lunch, so I'm just about to nip out to the corner shop and pick up some bits for lunch. Won't be much to see, but you never know, if I spot anything I'll pop a clip in. So let's put a coat on and a hat and head out into the cold. Okay, so that's a proper locals shop. To the point where you go in and the shopkeeper's like, oh, I haven't seen you in ages. So yeah, I got my bread, got a few sweet treats, some chocolate orange popcorn and some Reese's treats. Because although it's a small corner shop, it does have a selection of American candy. Not a big selection, but a selection nonetheless. So yeah, a few treats and some lunch. Woohoo! Good morning. Okay, so it's the 19th of December, so that's Monday. Got a cat under the tree. If he stays there when I finish filming this little bit, I'll show you. But, let's get the advent open. So there's the 19th. Ready for the rustling? Okay, so this is the same yarn as the black, but in a grey. So it's that catchier sock yarn. So yeah, superwash yarn, polyamide and wool, 25 grams. So again, this is probably going to end up in the sock stash, unless I think of something to do with all the minis together. So, very useful. Christmas jumper update. I have a sleeve, which I need to bind off, but I have a sleeve, so I need to get its partner done. And then the sweater will be ready for blocking, so yay. The sleeves are obviously a better fit, well, a looser fit, a bit closer to the actual pattern fit than the body is. And the body fits fine, it's just form fitting. We'll see what that's like after blocking. So I'll see how far down the second sleeve I can get. I cast on the first sleeve Saturday evening, well, picked up the stitches and started doing that Saturday evening. So I was working on that during knit night on Saturday, finished it last night. So that's a day and a bit of knitting for that sleeve. So I may or may not get it all done today. Got my dailies done on the Xbox and then pick up the needles and see how far we get. So it's an oven meal tonight, so that's minimal prep, so that's good. That means I've got a little bit more time to work on it, so yeah, should be able to get it to the point where I'm quite far down the sleeve by the end of the day, if not all the way down, and then finish it off tomorrow and block it tomorrow. So tomorrow's Tuesday, a couple of days to dry. It should be blocked in time for Christmas. So, yay. So yeah, that's pretty much my plans for the day, is get that sleeve knit. So yeah, I'll try and put in some snippets of how the sweater's going for you to see. And I will try and remember to film a before and after blocking, just so that we can sort of assess if there's much difference in size. Yeah, so that's that. I do have presents to wrap. I've not put my sewing patterns together yet, but as I'm obviously spending the time getting the sweater done that I want to wear on Christmas Day, that's taking priority. It'd be nice to get some of the sewing done before Christmas, but we are obviously getting close, so I don't know if that will happen. couple of the patterns will be fairly quick to sew up because they're jersey. One's a pair of trousers, so that'll take a bit more fitting. But I'm also waiting for notions for the trousers. So that would delay that a bit. But yeah, we'll see how far we get with that. They should certainly be done fairly early into the new year, if not before the new year. But, yeah. I need to film this weekend's video this week as well. I'm probably going to film that today because of what it is. So we'll get that filmed and done and then edited during the week. If I get it done today as well, that's out of the way quite early on. It gives me more time to focus on things like decorating the cake and finding time to go hunting deer. The weather's looking like it's going to be very wet this week, so the deer might be betwixt us. I wasn't planning on doing like a vlog between Christmas and New Year, but that's when I normally do my roundup of my December makes and start looking ahead to next year. So yeah, we'll see. So, right then, I'm going to let you go for a moment. I'll obviously see you in a second in your world, but it'll be a little while in mine. I'll get my days done, drink my coffee and get knitting. Hello, welcome to Tuesday the 20th. Really on the final run now, aren't we? So plans for today. I thought I was getting food delivery today. I thought that's when I'd booked my Christmas week delivery, but now I've booked it for tomorrow. So that frees up a bit of time. So yeah, luckily it's after my appointment tomorrow, so I should be home in time for it. So yeah, today I have the cuff left to knit on my Christmas jumper. The online last gift present that I was expecting today came day before yesterday, so don't need to wait for that either. So yeah, so I'm going to knit the cuff on that sweater, get the sweater blocking and start putting some sewing patterns together. Possibly wrap some presents as well, because that needs doing. But yeah, a bit more time today than I thought I was going to have, so that's nice. Tomorrow's going to be manic, but these things happen. Okay, so today's advent, the 20th. There's a bigger one today. Okay, so we've got an Emma Ball pouch, the zippy pouch. So we've got the cats, the knitting cats on there. Hopefully that's focusing. Okay, so knitting cats on the pouch. My local yarns shop, I think, stocks a lot of the Emma Ball stuff, so it's probably where Stepmom's got it from. And some washi tape. Who doesn't love a good bit of washi tape? We've got puffins on it. So washi tape with puffins on. That'll be useful for my bullet journal, which I still need to set up. So yeah, so it's a boxed bottom zippy pouch. So yeah, it would be good for pencils or crochet hooks, or storing like long-term storage of notions, that sort of thing. So yeah, I need to decide what to use that for. So it's listed as a pencil case on its tag, but yeah, could be used for all sorts of things. I don't really have much need for a pencil case as such, although my bullet journaling pens could go in there. I tend to keep them in their packets so they're all laid out in a line, so I don't have to rummage for stuff. Don't know what that was. So, but yeah, that will be handy. I might possibly be able to get sock yarn in there and use it as a bowl. probably a little bit small for a sock project. But yeah, that can be used for all sorts of things. To gather my smaller notions patches in there and store them in there. Yeah, okay, so that's Advent. That's plans for the day. I'm going to go and drink my coffee and do my Xbox dailies, and then knit a cuff. I'm not sure what I'll get footage of later. I will probably get footage of the sweater when it's off the needles, pre-blocking. Whether you'll see me crawling around the floor, putting patterns together, I don't know, because we've got the air up at the moment, drying some fabric that arrived yesterday. It's a cotton lawn that I got some metre-long pre-cuts of. It's used for pocket bags and facings and linings and that sort of thing. So yeah, I needed to get it washed before I cut the fabric out. So hopefully that'll be dry in time for me to cut it out. If it's slightly damp, I can iron it dry, that's fine. I still need to press the other fabrics I've washed actually. But let's get these patterns put together first. Or at least some of them, because that'll take a bit of time being PDF patterns. And go from there. Okay, so Christmas sweater is off the needles, ready for locking. Obviously it's weird light coming in from the garden, but we'll not worry about that too much. Okay, so yeah, not the fit that I'd expect from looking at the pattern, but it's not been blocked yet, so. And as we know, I forgot to change needles for the colour work, so not massively surprising. The sleeves are a bit closer to pattern picture, although I'm not quite sure why this one has got a little bit more puff than this one at the cuff. Decreased them evenly, matching them up all the way. But I guess my gauge was tighter on this one. We'll see what that's like after blocking as well. So this is the before. And I will go and get it blocked, and we'll see how it is once it's dry in a couple of days. I could have got away with it a little bit longer on the back, but we'll see what it's like after blocking, as I say. I wouldn't be too upset if it pretty much stays as it is, but I wouldn't be upset at all if it pretty much stays as it is after blocking. But being a superwash, I am expecting a bit of growth. If I was going to do it again, I'd maybe put a few more short rows in the back, just to bring that down a little bit further on me, but that's more my body shape than anything else. And yeah, like I say, we'll see what it's like after it's blocked. So yeah, it's sitting right on my jeans waistband, which I think for something that fits in this way is not a bad length. I mean, even if it was a looser fit, it wouldn't be a bad length. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't do the decrease round after the colour work, because it just wouldn't have worked for the way that this is fitting at the minute. So yeah, so I'll get that off, get it blocked, and work out what to do with the rest of the yarn, because when my gauge was tighter, I haven't used as much yarn as the pattern called for, which is fine. I quite often have leftover yarn, so that's fine. I might do a pair of mittens, see if I can get them done in the next few days. So I have fingerless gloves that fit, but I don't have mittens. The other option is to do a hat with some of this colour work on it, because I've got some of both colours left. But yeah, a hat with a band of that would be quite nice as well. But I do have hats that are wearable. Whereas when we had that cold snap, every time I went out, I had very cold fingers. So yeah, mittens might be the way to go if I've got enough yarn for that, so we'll see. Right, so that's that. I'm going to go and get this blocked. I'm going to put the chili on for tonight and stick some patterns together, so I may or may not see you again before tomorrow. I am going to edit what I've got so far and get it up this afternoon, so this will be the end of this little bundle, unless obviously I get some footage of me sticking patterns together, but I can't see it, to be honest. And then I'll come back in the next bundle with the last few days leading up to Christmas Eve. That may or may not be out on Christmas Eve. It might be out on Boxing Day, which is St. Stephen's Day, 26th of December. We call it Boxing Day in the UK, something to do with servants and tips. History. Yeah, St Stephen's Day is Boxing Day. Day after Christmas. Yeah, so that's that. I'm pleased so far, and I'll show you what it's like once it's blocked.